everyone, how are you? My name is Marcelo Miranda. I'm a business and executive coach from Brazil. I also run a business which provides small and medium-sized companies all the management tools and strategies for them to achieve their objectives. Today, I'd like to share with you some really great advice so you can achieve your goals. In my opinion, someone can only give advice if he masters his field of expertise, and therefore, I look back my last years, searching for something I really had mastered and found something extremely valuable, and it's what I'm going to share with you now. I noticed that the only one thing I've done over and over again was failing to succeed in every job interview I've attended. As time went by, I got the way, so I can give you excellent tips on how to fail in any taken job interviews like I did. I'll give you 5 important pieces of advice I assembled from my last experiences. Following these 5 steps, I guarantee you will never, ever be hired again. They're simple and easy to follow. Number 1. Get to know your territory. Search for information on the company. They value candidates. They try to figure them out into the business. Number 2. Know who you are, your objectives, what you're searching for, your personal and professional goals, so interviewers will quickly identify whether you're a match or not. Number 3. Know your strategies. Come up with at least a good one. Know how to highlight your strengths and minimize your weaknesses. Keep up the balance. Neither act as a flawless executive, nor like a loser. Rehearse. Talk to someone in the area so you could anticipate questions and possible pitfalls. Following those steps, I assure you that you will fail any and every job interview you will ever attend. Observing those tips I mentioned, I ended up not hired for the past 2 years. An awesome experience. What? You don't like my advice? You don't need any help in failing job interviews? You might be wondering, why would I use it? It's obvious. You see, for the past 2 years, I've attended to at least 12 job interviews. They were all for great positions that paid very well. HR generalist, supervisor, manager, consultant, and others. During that time, I managed to gather the knowledge on how to flaw, and even helped 3 close friends not to succeed. I know what people say about this kind of recipes, but believe me, the pieces of advice I presented are 100% guaranteed. I kept wondering, why could I get any of the jobs? What was wrong with me? What is it my way, my approach, communication, content, experience, presentation? What was it? As I couldn't get any of the jobs, I concluded there was something wrong with me. So I hired a coach, and we worked on personal SWOT analysis, communication skills, interview preparation, focus techniques, any and every tool known, so I could fix what was wrong and get hired. Surprisingly, all that led me to another failure. No matter my strategies or the companies, I failed over and over and over again. Finally, at some point, just when I hanged up the phone, hearing another no, I thought my options were over, and I wouldn't be able to fix the problem that kept me apart from my goals. I was really frustrated. I wanted to achieve so many things, but I couldn't, because there was something terribly wrong with me, and I didn't know what is it. That day, in fact, it was a pretty ordinary day. I found the courage to stare failure in the eye and ask it, "What are you doing here? Why are you standing by my side? Why don't you just go and leave me alone?" Oddly enough, it looked back at me and whispered, "I don't exist." Okay. It was already weird enough having a heart-to-heart with failure, but when it said it doesn't exist, things really got scary. I was talking to a ghost failure who insisted it doesn't exist, and it was that was keeping me away from my achievements. Although failure was just a ghost, I felt it pretty real. After I freaked out a little, I put myself together and gave it a shot. Okay. Okay, let's say you don't exist. Then what is this failure I feel so present in my life? It was there, ladies and gentlemen. Right there, when I finally got it all figured out. Failure was right. It really doesn't exist. I was looking for a problem, and I found all kinds of them. Some could be worked out, others avoided. And a part of them, a small part of them, were totally irreversible. The point is, there is no problem at all. Exactly. I was looking for a problem and understood there was no problem at all. That's why I spent so much time looking without coming up with a solution. And that is advice number 4. Understand failure. Get to understand failure. You see, there was no failure as there was no spoon. What I interpreted as a failure was in fact a misunderstanding and misinterpretation of my real goals. Those that really feed my dreams, not the ones the world told me to have, like my mother's and father's expectations, my family's career path, society's increasing needs for doctors, lawyers, engineers to oppose its staggering chaos. Your unconscious mind is true only to you in your deep motivation and inner values. It won't ever allow you to follow another direction. The thing is, you think you want to move somewhere, but your conscious mind won't let you. Because the only path that will allow you to follow is the one related to your deep motivations and true values. But we suffer. We suffer because we don't understand. We don't understand we all have this unconscious mind, which is wise, powerful, resourceful, and interpreted everything that happened as a failure. You see, it's hard to see, surrounded by this mist in which we have been raised. So many demands, expectations made us very confused about what we want and what we truly seek. So we wander around looking for society's made-up jobs or careers so they could replace our deepest needs. If you could strip yourself out of every single part of your so-called personality and goals that exist only to fulfill somebody else's expectations, will you still be 100% sure of the path you're following? Failure would only occur whenever I took a path that wouldn't lead me to my true aspirations and desires, and that I could only achieve by understanding what failure meant. There was no problem. There was no mistake. Just a misinterpretation of what my true aspirations as a professional and as a human being were. Now, after failing for 2 years, I finally found my true path. The one which my unconscious mind was driving me into. And I'm 100% connected to my mission. And with it goes 100% of all my effort to achieve the greatness I've longed so much. Nowadays, I run a business that excels at helping people achieve their goals. We work on small and medium-sized companies, providing them with all management tools and knowledge they need to skyrocket their numbers. I also personally train and coach their leaders, so we create a healthy and motivating environment based on ethics and values of their founders. I don't know where you are, but here in Brazil, small and medium-sized businesses respond to 98% of all country income and 99% of available jobs. You do the math. And number 5 tip is, be honest to yourself, so you fail no longer. We can't add days to our life, but we can add life to our days. Thank you so much for staying with me. See you soon.